In the Bill of Rights, we, the people of the United States, Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Hi, this is Rob Charney with Old Guy Tech TV, and if you're viewing this is more than likely because you're taking one of my concealed weapons courses. And today I want to talk to you about firearms in post offices. It's one of the questions that I get in every one of my classes, and until recently I had one interpretation, but I believe that there is another, and let me tell you about it right now. Under federal law, guns cannot be taken into a federal facility except for hunting or other lawful purposes. Most federal facilities are content with guns locked in the car while the obedient citizen submits to the imaginary security of a no-gun policy. The Postal Service has a much more expansive policy. They have claimed regulatory authority through the parking lot and even to the public sidewalk and beyond. Within the last 6 years, the Post Office has, by federal regulations, banned the collection of signatures or petitions on public sidewalks bordering postal facilities. The Postal Service argued that such First Amendment activity would annoy people coming to get their mail. The District Court accepted this argument, granting summary judgment to the Postal Service and calling the regulation a valid time, place, or manner restriction on speech. It is often overlooked that all liberties carry some regulation, either explicitly, such as the Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable search and seizure, or by interpretation. The most famous interpretation is that one's freedom of speech does not extend to shouting fire in a crowded theater. The burden on the government is showed that regulations restricts a real harm to other persons. The regulation is narrowly drawn to be the lightest possible burden on the liberty restricted. Of course, many light burdens add up to substantial burdens which will immeasurably extinguish a right. So the appellate court reversed the district court's decision, implying that there is a decision that is overbroad. So it's too large a decision here. However, when the Postal Service will enact such sweeping restrictions on the favored First Amendment, the restrictions on the Second Amendment are much more excessive. Federal law prohibits carrying firearms or other dangerous weapons in a federal facility. The Postal Service regulation implements this as prohibiting weapons on postal property. Agencies can establish regulations implementing federal law, and that these regulations have the force of the law. An administrative agency from the executive branch meddling in the duties of the legislative branch is enough of a problem. When they exceed the authority of the statute, it is quite the abuse of the authority. The federal statute defines a facility as a building or part of a building owned or leased by the federal government. The Postal Service regulation brazenly expands this law based on a banned weapons policy inside a building to the parking lot outside. Postal Service is adamant that this makes driving under the parking lot with a gun anywhere in the car a federal crime. The Postal Service has their own police force, and one would expect a great number of cases on this point. The fact that there have not been a number of cases on this point shows that a great number of concealed carry licensees who stop at post offices carrying discreetly and do not create problems, that there has been no problem. This is significant. When concealed carry was first proposed, and every improvement since, we were told that there would be blood in the streets and citizens being terrified by licensees brandishing guns. These threats are still heard today, and they're always wrong, but the threat is valid commentary by the media. The shortage of post office cases indicates that the efforts of concealed carry licensees to carry lawfully and discreetly does work. So the fact is, here we go with the Postal Service making a regulation that is broad and that there is no basis in. And of course, our legal system, our judicial, and our legislative branch have all decided that this is good policy and they're going to make it so. Problem is that you probably have not heard about this before, and I want to make sure that you understand that carrying a legally licensed concealed weapons permit gun onto postal property is illegal. That means even driving onto the post office parking lot or standing on the sidewalk. Anyway, hopefully this answers a few of your questions. And again, I'm Rob with Old Guy Tech TV. Thanks for taking your time, and I hope this help answers a few of your questions.